Entrepreneurs aren't born, they are made through failures, breakthroughs, and relentless hustle. Welcome to the Empowered Entrepreneur TV show. This is your host Rohit Soni, airing across 185 countries, 26 plus TV networks, 100 plus podcast stations. This is where visionaries share their unfiltered journeys, strategies, and game-changing insights. Your success story starts here. This is more than just a show, it's a movement. Watch, learn, and elevate. Welcome to the very first episode of the Empower Entrepreneur, the show that's not just about business, it's about mindset, skills, and the unstoppable drive that turn dreams into reality. I'm your host, Rohit Soni, and together we are on a mission to empower entrepreneurs worldwide. Whether you're a startup founder, a seasoned CEO, or a coach or a consultant, this show is for you. Every week, I'm going to bring powerful conversations with some of the world's most brilliant minds in business that I have met and known. It's not just about the business owners, it's more about the game changers who have walked the path of success and are here to share their insights with you. In this show, we are diving deep beyond strategies and profits into the mindset that fuels success, the habits that builds empires, and the resilience that turns setbacks into comebacks. Because let's be honest, entrepreneurship isn't just about making money, it's about creating impact, freedom, and having a legacy. So if you're ready to level up, take action, and transform your entrepreneurial journey, welcome to the Empowered Entrepreneur Show. Let's ignite your potential together. This is your host, Rohit Soni. I'd like to introduce my very first guest, Ken D. Foster. Before he comes on the show, I'd like to tell you what Ken has done. Ken is a visionary entrepreneur, a best-selling author, and renowned business strategist known for his wisdom in helping individuals and organizations unlock their potential through transformational coaching and powerful systems, breakthrough strategies, and insights. As the owner of the Courage Network and a TV producer of Voices of Courage shows syndicated in over 185 countries, Ken brings forward-thinking conversations to inspire change and courage in his audience. He's deeply involved in initiatives with Dr. Elvin Laszlo's Upshift Conversations and Upshift Summit, promoting global consciousness and transformative leadership. Ken's work reflects a blend of wisdom, courage, and a commitment to make a positive impact in the world. With over 35 years of experience as a transformational leader, yogi, and business strategist, Ken D. Foster combines vision, expertise, and heart to create meaningful change. He's more than just a coach or mentor. Ken is a visionary philanthropist, best-selling author, and like I said, a leadership teacher. Today on the very first show, we're going to talk to you about a lot of things. And the most important thing that we're going to talk about is what it takes, the courage to become an entrepreneur. What is it that can take your business life to the next level by being an entrepreneur? So I invite you on the stage, Ken D. Foster. Hi, Ken. How are you?
Well, I'm doing outstanding, Rohit. And, I'm so honored to be here with you on your very first show. You've prepared for years to be here, and you've got so much wisdom and courage and information that entrepreneurs need to be able to really grow their businesses, grow their lives, and become very successful. So I'm glad to be here with you.
I love that. And right out of the gate, I'll just get into a conversation that a lot of people are uncomfortable in. A lot of people don't want to talk about it, and that is courage. And I get it. It sounds very good, courage. But you tell us what it means to you that an entrepreneur needs to have courage. What does that mean to you? What experiences you have had about courage? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, let me define courage for your audience. So courage is, it's a feeling, it's a power, it's an energy that lives within all of us. And courage does not show up until you take steps into the unknown. So when you can set your goals, set your vision, set your dreams, and you don't know how the heck you're going to accomplish them. And you take a step towards those dreams. That's when courage starts to show up. A lot of entrepreneurs, myself included, I've been places where I've failed many times, and it takes courage to get back up. It takes courage to take that step back into reinventing yourself, into looking at what you thought would work, what you really believed in your heart of hearts would really be your path or your destiny or your business, and finding out it was just a stepping stone. And when all of that collapses, then what do? You find courage. I know back in 2008, 2009, we had a large financial crash in the United States. One of my businesses that I had built over about a 10-year period was on the verge of collapsing. And I wasn't sure what to do. I had web people showing up telling me they can't move anymore until I pay them. They can't do anything more. I had a partner wanting to leave and quit. I had my other partner wondering what the heck we're going to do. And it was a very trying time. And I made the biggest mistake I've ever made in business. I went out and I got advice from a fellow that was not in my genre. He was a business owner, but he didn't understand my business. And he told me, he says, I think you should just give this up. This is not going anywhere. You should quit. And I went home and I talked to my partner, my wife, Judy, about it. And she said, well, it's your decision, whatever you want to do. So the biggest mistake I ever made in business was I gave up and I closed that business. Now, of course, when one door shuts with an entrepreneur, other doors open. So I've started other businesses that are very successful. But that was the biggest mistake I ever made. So the first principle I want to just talk about is just that. We fail ourselves forward. That's what an entrepreneur does. So if you fail, you don't quit. You look at, in fact, when it gets really difficult, if you quit, what happens like I did, the same lessons show up again. Okay. You start another business, the same thing will show up again. And you have to know at that point, you need to move through it, which of course I had to, right? I had some challenges I needed to move through. So that's where we start, Rohit. I think it's that fail ourselves forward. And by doing so, we start to learn, we grow, we evolve, we become the best version of ourselves, and our businesses thrive as a result of our learning.
I get it, Ken. The biggest thing about courage in entrepreneurship is where learning actually starts. And in my own experience, I've learned that whenever I find something difficult, whenever I find I need to elevate myself to the next level, that's where learning came in. So I completely agree with the point that learning is where actual courage starts. So I want to know, was there a defining moment in your life, in your career, where you thought, okay, I need to actually be courageous now to take my business life to the next level? Was there that aha moment that you felt, yes, I have a career and I think I'm lagging behind my greatest potential. So I need to just step back and think about it and just come back even better to where I want to be. So was there any defining moment in your life?
I think one of the greatest defining moments was when I was working as a one-on-one business strategist and coach. And I was about 10 years into that business. And I had a moment of clarity. And I thought to myself, Ken, what has changed over the last 10 years? What has changed? And, really a lot of my principles were the same that I was teaching, although I've grown and learned and developed new principles. And I thought, well, what's changed really is my self-esteem, my self-confidence. That's what really changed. And why did I ask that question? Because I realized I was making a lot more money, 10 years down the road than I was when I first started the business. But here's the key. Had I known to charge what I was charging 10 years down the road when I first began, and I had that confidence to do that, I would have made hundreds of thousands of dollars more money. So there's a piece here with confidence as an entrepreneur. Can you imagine yourself 10 years into the future? Visualize yourself 10 years in the future. Imagine what you would be saying to yourself in 10 years in the future. Imagine what your business will be like 10 years in the future. And you don't have to go 10, you can go 5. But imagine what it might be like. Now, imagine what you're charging for your products and services 10 years or 5 years into the future. Imagine that. Because when you can connect with that, why wait 10 years? Why not step up and start charging it what you're worth today? That'd be my advice around that.
Well, Ken, I completely agree with you. And I love that part where you told you need the advice, right? Because somewhere along the way in your own life, there are moments, there are times where you need someone who can guide you. You need someone who can tell you what to do now because things are not working out the way you want. You need that voice, someone, and that someone could be a coach, a mentor, someone like you. So we have to go to break right now. And when we come back, Ken's going to be talking about fear and self-doubt as an entrepreneur, which is a key for any entrepreneur or business owner to actually get the courage, to have that courage to take their business life to the next level. As a coach or a consultant, your focus should be on transforming lives, not struggling to get clients. That's where my company Amplify Media comes in to help you not just scale your business, but to consistently give you the revenue that your business deserves. We actually build a done-for-you lead generation acquisition system that brings in clients consistently so that you don't have to worry about where the next client is coming in. You focus on the most important thing that is scaling your business and impacting your own coaching clients. From high-impact marketing and scroll-stopping content to expert funnel creation, we take your business from point A to point B with precision. Coaches and consultants worldwide trust the company. We have over 277 plus clients, case studies all around the world, help tons and tons of businesses scale. So your next level is waiting. Let's make your brand unforgettable and visit the website today. I would love to offer you a free strategy session to share with you how we can help scale your business. Thank you. Hey, welcome back to the Empower Entrepreneur TV show. This is your host, Rohit Soni, and today we have our guest named Ken D. Foster. So it's lovely to connect with you again, Ken. I know the audience are looking forward to know the most important topic that I told before the break, which is fear and self-doubt. So yes, Ken, tell us about fear and self-doubt, how fear and self-doubt holds people back. Was there an experience in your life that it held you back, and how to overcome that for new age entrepreneurs who are just starting out, how they can hold that back because of all the noises around you? You need someone, you need that voice in your head to help you out. So what's your take on that, please?
Fear and self-doubt don't necessarily show up the way we think sometimes. We don't wake up going, oh, I'm afraid of this, I'm afraid of that, or I don't have any confidence. A lot of times how it shows up is, I'll just postpone that until next week, or I'll just wait until I have all the pieces together before I move forward, or maybe I just, I'm not sure I have enough confidence else. That's how it shows up. It shows up subtly, okay? But here's what happens when we have fear or doubt, right? First of all, like I just said, it paralyzes you. It stops you, right? It stops you from moving forward. In fact, as an entrepreneur, it's the number one success stopper of all is doubt and uncertainty. Where you're doubting yourself, you have 1 foot in, maybe you want to go, and 1 foot out, okay? But unless you have 100% in, you're 100% in, you're going to have start-stop patterns. You'll start moving forward, and then you'll stop. You'll start moving forward, and then you'll get distracted. You'll start moving forward, and then you'll have a new idea to go do something different. That's not the way to succeed as an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship is all about commitment, loyalty to yourself, loyalty to what you're putting in the world, and daily steps, no matter what it takes, daily steps toward your dream. And if you don't do that, what I found is that, it's either going to slow you down or you're not going to manifest it at all.
Agree. And I love this word manifestation because a lot of people talk about it. And I feel like this manifestation word has been overused these days with what most people talk about, right? Manifestation as in your business, manifestation as in your career, your love life, everything, right? For entrepreneurs. So, what do you think is the best way you would manifest in today's world to get to the success that you're truly looking for? I know hard work is important. I know abundance is important, but how would you use manifestation consistently in your own life right now to get to the results that you want to achieve?
100%. I met a woman one day. Her name was Louise Hay. Louise Hay was in her 70s when she started a little company called Hay House Publishing, which today does several hundred million. Well, I don't know, 100 million, but she's $100 million company. I interviewed her and I said, Louise, tell me about setting goals. And she looked at me like I was crazy. She said, I don't set goals. I said, what do you do? She said, well, I set intention. I get clear with my intentions. Well, I want to plus what Louise said. I want you to get clear with your vision. If you want to manifest something, set your intention, then start to visualize it, and then start to feel it. I remember I wanted to buy a piece of property in San Diego, California. I was young. I was in my 20s. And I was working for a company, and I knew that the amount of money I was making at that company wasn't going to get me the $30,000 that I needed for a down payment at that time. At least that's what I thought I needed. And so I started thinking a little bit outside the box, started thinking, you know what? Okay, I'm going to visualize. I know the principles. I'm going to set my intention to get this $30,000. And then what I did is I went home every day after work. I put on some music that I loved. I would dance to it. I'd feel it. I'd get that vision and that feeling connected, my emotions and my vision connected every day, right? And sure enough, I was working for a real estate company at the time. A property showed up that I would earn a $30,000 commission. So needless to say, man, I was focused on that. I went out and we got that I was working for a company that was buying properties. So they bought that property. I ended up with my $30,000 commission, right? How does that happen? Well, intention, vision, feeling, focus, daily steps towards your vision, eliminating doubt and uncertainty. I didn't have doubt and uncertainty. I was moving. This is going to happen. Anytime doubt or uncertainty come in, I'd put on that music, I'd dance, I'd move in, and I'd get my feeling and get my attitude going in the right direction. So that's a big piece of it. Now, there's another piece I've learned along the way. It's called surrender, okay? So it's aligning my will with God's will. My will with God's will. See, the God of my understanding wants me to succeed in all ways. Has nothing but abundance, joy, love, happiness, success in my vision. But sometimes my will gets involved. So when I can surrender, and how I do that is I pull back from this thought, all this thinking. I meditate. I get in a very calm place to let myself hear what the next step is. So I surrender to win. I let go and I let God. I allow that peace in my life. And what happens is everything starts to unfold in almost this divine way. I feel like I'm in a bubble sometimes. It's just watching as a witness, watching everything unfold in amazing ways. I hope that helps your audience.
Yes, I love that part. And there's one thing that you mentioned in between was state. How do you get better? How do you come back to your state in a way that you're performing the best, even after you get consistent setbacks? And I do have an experience on that I would like to share with our audience too. That is that whenever I feel things are not working out, I do just one thing, which is called nature walk. I just leave everything on the table for a moment. I just don't go stressed out and, asleep again. I don't do that. And I would highly suggest no one to do that. The moment you feel stressed, start walking. You start walking, you build momentum. And if you walk in the nature has this tendency to heal you. That's what I would always do if I feel like my state is low. The moment you feel things are not working out, start moving, start doing something just so that your brain, you got to sometimes fool your brain. You got to be smart enough sometimes to fool your brain. And I do that consistently or else I'll keep getting stressed out. And I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs miss that part and they get stressed out in the daily born hustle culture. So I feel like people need to actually start taking control of their state, Ken, in order to get to the courage where they take their business and life to the next level. What's your take on that?
Nicholas Tesla, the great creator, inventor in the 19th century in the United States, said that if you understand frequency, vibration, and energy, you'll understand the universe. Well, you can understand how to manifest and how to get what you want if you understand these principles. One of the things I do when I wake up every morning is I go to gratitude. I wake up, my eyes wake up, and I start to think about what I'm grateful for. Why do I do that? Well, because it sets my mind in the intention of acknowledging that there is abundance, there is wealth, there is joy, there is happiness. And then after that, I go and I turn on my TV to a YouTube channel that has a high frequency resonance. So if you go to YouTube, you can type in high frequency music and you can get that for yourself. I tune in and let my whole house permeate with that energy. The next thing I'll do is I'll put on some sacred incense. I usually use frankincense to make sure the vibration of my house is where I need it to go. Now, this is kind of funny, right? I'm an entrepreneur. I'm very successful. Why do I do these things? Because I understand the impact of environment on entrepreneurs, on ourselves. Environment is stronger than most people's will. So if you have an environment, whether it's an environment of a bunch of poor influencers around you, or you have an environment around successful leaders, mentors, guides that'll help you, and you have an environment like when I walk into my office, I've got sacred pictures, I've got this high resonance energy in this room. I come back time and time, and it increases the energy. It's my creative space. As an entrepreneur, you need that. And you need this time. We talked earlier, Rohit said, take time to slow down. I said, take time to slow down to succeed. He has his way, but music is important in your life. Leonardo da Vinci, another great inventor. I love the mentors that these great inventors that create so many great things that are entrepreneurs. Leonardo da Vinci said, isolation is the price of greatness. The great sage Yogananda said from India, came into the United States in 1924. He's the first Indian guru to stay in the United States, right? And live out his life here. Well, what he said was, stillness is the price of greatness. Isolate, stillness. Now, a lot of us can't go in the forest or a cave and meditate forever. We live in the world, but you can take daily time for yourself to tune back into your dream, tune back into your highest level of resonance, right? We want to create coherence with ourselves and nature, right? And with God. We want to have this coherence that we're aligned in harmony. When we are, it's amazing. Nothing seems to impact us when we're there. You've all been there before, where you're in a state that somebody says something to you, who cares, right? You're in such a good place, it doesn't matter. Then sometimes you're in other states, lower vibrational energy states, where somebody says something to you, take it personally. It hurts you. It stops you. As an entrepreneur, you have to learn how to master your mind if you want to master your life, if you want to master your business. That's the number one step. I hope that contributes to your audience there.
I completely agree. Isolation, manifestation, state, all these three things combined. If you do it right, you have it figured out. And then it's all about just consistently working and having that discipline. Even with my own journey as an entrepreneur, I've seen consistently that whenever I have been in solitude, I just work 10 times better. I just have that better creativity and I can think more. Even when I wrote my best-selling book called Your Soul, How to Create Deals, Customer 10 Reviews, I did the exact same thing. I was in solitude. I was working all by myself in just one room, logged in 2, 3, 4 hours consistently, get done a lot of stuff, had peak productivity. And it's all because of just one thing, Ken, which you just said, solitude and isolation. It takes that creativity to the next level. So, shifting gears, let's just talk about one of the most important things that we actually discussed before doing this show, that I talked to you, that I would love to learn from you, and would love my audience to learn from this show too. That is, what are some of the biggest mindset shifts entrepreneurs need to make in order to embrace risk and uncertainty? Because this world, too many noises, like I just told. What you gonna do? Tell us. Share your
Well,
opinions.
I work as a holotropic coach. What the heck is that? A holotropic coach.
I've heard it.
Well, I'm an individual that has been meditating for 3 decades. I'm an individual that has studied science, quantum physics, quantum mechanics, neuroscience, string theory, everything from the butterfly effect to the Vedas. Deep study of the Vedas, deep study of the wisdom traditions of the world, deep study of religion. So I have this resonance about me. Holotropic coaching is this: whether you work with me or you work with somebody else, when you come into their energy field, and you can just slow down and tune into that a little bit, they remind you, okay, and I will remind you of what you have inside of you. In other words, I tune into my cosmic consciousness, and I hold a space for you to be able to manifest what it is that you want inside of you. Now, it sounds a little airy-fairy, a little, but not really. You see, we are all made of stardust, right? All of us, all the atoms that we come from are the same atoms in the ethers, or in the stars, or in the sun. So we're really connected to everything. And when we understand that, in fact, there was 2 scientists that were given the Nobel Peace Prize in 2022 for entanglement theory, showing that we are all entangled. But not only that, what happens in one area of the universe is simultaneously happening in another area of the universe. So when I can tune into my own spiritual, psychological, biological, cosmic consciousness. I hold that space. You come into somebody like that, and you start to feel it. What happens for you? You might think, oh, I don't think that's happening. But what's happening is, all of a sudden now, your ideas are opening up. Your creativity is opening up. You're getting the downloads of the next steps for you. That's what I'm talking about here. So why am I talking to you about that? Because it is incredibly important for you to have mentors in your life as an entrepreneur. Rohit is also a long-term meditator. He has mentors in his life, and he is a mentor to help people to get their own understanding, to open up their own creativity, and be able to apply the principles we're talking here, so you can start to create more success in all areas of your life, not just business.
I completely agree, and it's all about implementing what you learn. So before going to the next break, I have just one more question that I need to ask you, and then we'll leave the audience with the most important question as well, which is, can you share an example of an entrepreneur you coached who transformed their business by embracing courage? Anyone?
Well, I won't give a name because that's confidential, but I'll give you a story. So a fella came to me about 10 years ago. It's been a while. Remember, my clients worked with me for many years. And when he came to me, he was in his early 30s, late 20s, and he's working with his father in a business. And they created some success. I think it was, going about, I think he had about, Dad had grown it for 30 years to that point. And I started to help him to understand the power of the mind and the power of intention. And one of the first things we intended was for him to be able to buy out his father. Now, he'd had that thought a little bit, but I gave him the understanding, the experience, and the wisdom of how to go about doing that. So sure enough, about 2 years into our coaching, he bought the company. Now it's his. Now, what does he do with it? Now we start to set the vision that the company is going to grow to $16 million in sales. We're going to double it. And sure enough, over about the next year and a half, it grows to that. Now, remember, it's taken almost 30 years for this company to get to 8 million. He's in the next couple of years, doubles revenue, right? Because he's not only working on the business, he's working on his mindset. He is challenging himself constantly, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, letting go of disempowering, limiting beliefs. And I'm helping him, guiding him through this. He takes that business from 16 million to 32 in the next couple of years, 32 to 64, 64 to over $100 million, right? How did that all happen? Young kid, young guy, right? Because he followed the principles of mind. He followed the principles of business, allowing himself to tune into his highest values and stay connected to that. And he was willing to grow and learn and really surrender. Okay. Is it just one person that's happened to? No, everybody around. No, Rohit, you'll tell me. You can tell my own stories with you. Like Rohit and I have been working together for a while. And, he started out as a young, he's still young, but he was even younger. And, he created a small business, then doubled in revenue, tripled in revenue, quadrupled in revenue, right? Now he's doing his own shows, right? Teaching people entrepreneur principles, right? And teaching me all the time too. So those principles work all the time. You just have to find the right mentor or coach to be able to help you, the one that you resonate with. But I want to say one last thing, Rohit. I don't know anybody successful that doesn't have a mentor, a business strategist, or a coach, or all three, which I am, so that they can really help themselves grow in exponential ways.
Absolutely, 100% agree. There needs to be someone who can guide you, who can support you, who can take you to the next level. And there's no one better than someone who has already went through it, someone who has already got out of that bubble and create a success story for themselves. That's why I always believe you need to go from point A to point B. If you want to go, you need to have someone who can guide you so that you don't have to zigzag. You can just shoot it right there. So yeah, Ken, so we have to go, got to go to a break right now. And when we come back, Ken's going to be talking about the 3 important pillars for any entrepreneur to be successful, which is vision, purpose, and leadership. So I'll see you soon, right after the break. As a coach or a consultant, your focus should be on transforming lives, not struggling to get clients. That's where my company Amplify Media comes in to help you not just scale your business, but to consistently give you the revenue that your business deserves. We actually build a done-for-you lead generation acquisition system that brings in clients consistently so that you don't have to worry about where the next client is coming in. You focus on the most important thing that is scaling your business and impacting your own coaching clients. From high-impact marketing and scroll-stopping content to expert funnel creation, we take your business from point A to point B with precision. Coaches and consultants worldwide trust the company. We have over 277 plus clients, case studies all around the world, help tons and tons of businesses scale. So your next level is waiting. Let's make your brand unforgettable and visit the website today. I would love to offer you a free strategy session to share with you how we can help scale your business. Thank you. Welcome back to the Empower Entrepreneur TV show. I'm your host, Rohit Soni, and today my guest is Ken D. Foster. He's a visionary entrepreneur, best-selling author, and renowned business strategies, and he's going to tell us more where we left off about the courage to become an entrepreneur in our very first episode. So, Ken, like I told before the break, I wanted to ask you about 3 important things: vision, leadership, and purpose. So what do you think? What's your take on that before we dive into deeper questions?
Well, we started a little bit with vision and intention before, but I want to expand on that a little bit. When you're creating a vision, let's say that you want to generate more money in your business, okay? Where do we start? Well, you start with a very clearly defined statement, like I am generating $20,000 or more, or 100,000 rupees or more in my business in the next 90 days or sooner. So it's very clearly defined. Why do we clearly define it? Because it's your compass. It's what's going to lead you to your vision. Now, some people say, well, I'm going to generate $1 million or more in the next 30 days. Well, I say that good for you. And if you've done that before, more than likely you're going to do that again. But if this is your first time in generating a vision, then you're probably going to have some steps involved. Because do you really believe in your heart of hearts that you can do that in 30 days? If you do, awesome, more power to you, probably manifest. But if you have any doubt or uncertainty, like we talked earlier, I'm not sure this could happen for me, then most likely it's probably not going to happen. So you may want to start with something a little smaller, or maybe a lot smaller for you. Doesn't matter. But listen, what happens if you don't get your vision? Well, you start it again. You start again. Okay, well, I didn't do that in 30 days. Well, what did you do in 30 days? Look at your wins, your breakthroughs, your successes. Focus on those. Don't focus on what you didn't do. Next is, we talked about purpose. Purpose, of course, is your why. You've heard this many times as an entrepreneur. Why am I doing this? Why is this important for me? Why is this going to happen for me? And this isn't a mental game. This is something that you get it out of your head. You write it on paper. And it's coming out of the ethers of the brain into the manifestation of the 3D dimension out of your brain, right? And then for my world, right, it's massive actions, right? It's like action, and more action, right? Do it and do it now, right? And do the worst first, by the way. If you think you can't do it, that's what you do first. You go do it, okay? And that's how you build confidence. That's how you build courage. That's how you build an unstoppable attitude. Eventually, you get to where I am. I don't know half the things that I'm going to do. Like this year, I'm putting together a documentary. I've never put together a documentary before, but we're putting together an Emmy award-winning documentary, right? That's the quality we're putting together. And I'm bringing in all the people that have already done this before, right? I'm the conductor with my mind. And so that this happens for a great friend and what I want to say, he's a gift to the world, Dr. Irvin Laszlo. You'll be seeing that documentary coming out in probably September this year. So again, okay, it starts in the mind. Mind is over your vision. Mind is over your purpose. Mind is over your actions. If you have a clearly defined vision, clearly defined actions, your chances of success are so much greater. So I encourage you to do that every day. And listen, you're listening to me and I'm just giving you some advice. You don't have to take the advice. You can do what most entrepreneurs do. You can do the trial and error method, okay? You try it, it doesn't work. You try it, it does work. You try it, it doesn't. That's fine. You might run out of time to create the success that you want, as opposed to getting a mentor in your life that can help you and guide you and move past your resistance. That's what stops all entrepreneurs, right? It's not what you know. It's what you don't know that's hurting you. In other words, it's below the surface, the limitations that you don't know. That's exactly what's stopping you. It can be your programming from childhood. It can be your programming or your mind imprint from a school teacher, from a friend that's still under the surface. Somebody told you you'll never succeed. You forgot that 1,000,000 years ago. But now it starts to manifest in your life. You go, how come I can only create a limited amount of success? Well, because there's something under the surface that you haven't dealt with. A master entrepreneur, a master coach, a strategist, that they can help you move past that very quickly, by the way, if you work with the right people.
I love that part where you said leadership and you talked about people combining and doing all the things. Let's shift gears a little bit and let's talk about teams as well, because leaders, entrepreneurs who have the courage to take their business and life to the next level, they have one thing in common. They're all great leaders. I believe you agree to that part. Now, moving into the question, which is very important for our viewers, that is, what leadership qualities do entrepreneurs need to cultivate to inspire teams and make a lasting impact? When I say lasting impact, I'm talking about not just for themselves. Because when you run a company, when you help people, when you help your clients, those people in the back, they're as much important as the impact that you're creating for the world. So let us know, Ken, your thoughts on the same.
Well, the new teams that I think teams that are highly effective and the way that you create a winning strategy for your team is that you first of all start with humility, right? What is humility, by the way? It's the ability to see reality clearly. The ability to see reality clearly. So by so doing that, you realize that first of all, you don't have all the answers. I don't have all the answers. Okay. In fact, I know this, my team has a lot more wisdom and knowledge and information than I'll ever have in their areas of expertise, because it's not my focus, right? But as a leader, what I do is I empower my team. So a lot of leaders it's the flip side. What they do is they're telling their teams what to do, when to do, and how to do it. And then they're holding them accountable. And then if they don't perform at the level that they need to perform, quote unquote, for the leader, then they're being chastised, they're being put down, they're being told they're wrong. And how do people respond to that? I don't know about you, but I don't really like people telling me what to do, when to do it, or how to do it. So I'm the opposite of that, right? What I do is I guide teams with trust. I trust my team members. And when they tell me that they have expertise in an area, and I said, great, now go out and use that expertise to develop some revenue for our company. Go out and, if you're an editor for some of my shows, awesome, man. Let me help you grow as an editor. What I do is I bring in people, places, and in situations that help my team grow. My editors grow. My copywriters grow. I bring in clients for them. I do everything I can to support my team to be successful in their greatest skill sets. I think that's a little different than a lot of other people that have teams. Now, I want to back up and say one other thing. When I first started in coaching years ago, 30 years ago, I really didn't know even how to be a coach. Didn't know, right? What did I do? I started a group in my living room in Pacific Beach, California. I invited a group of coaches that were brand new too. They didn't know what they're doing, but there was a new field called coaching coming in the world. It was life coaching at the time. And I brought them in my living room and we all worked together. Well, guess what? That organization, the Professional Coach Alliance, is still going to this day in San Diego, 30 plus years later, right? Why? Because collaboration is the name of the game back then, and it's even more important now. So we bring together teams of people that love what you're doing, like Rohit right now. I know you're putting a whole group of people. He stepped in. He's got a whole group of people that have shows just like him that he's going to meet with every month. That's going to help him grow his show, grow his ideas. He's surrounded himself with the best of the best. So what's going to happen to the show? It's going to grow exponentially, right? Exactly. He doesn't have to know it all because he's got a whole bunch of people that are supporting him. Most entrepreneurs try to do it all themselves. It's like the biggest mistake you can ever make. I don't care what your business is. If you're making razor blades, okay, or you're making wheels, what you need to do is find people and put them around you that know how to make wheels or razor blades or school books or whatever in a much better way than you. I want to say one thing too before you ask me the next question. I know we're almost out of time. Darn. I think I'll save that for the next show because I see we're running close to our time. Go ahead, Rohit.
Right now we have to go to a break right now, and when we're going to come back, Ken will be talking about how to turn courage into revenue in 2025. So be ready to learn those new tips. I'll see you right back. As a coach or a consultant, your focus should be on transforming lives, not struggling to get clients. That's where my company Amplify Media comes in to help you not just scale your business, but to consistently give you the revenue that your business deserves. We actually build a done-for-you lead generation acquisition system that brings in clients consistently so that you don't have to worry about where the next client is coming in. You focus on the most important thing that is scaling your business
and impacting your own coaching clients. From high-impact marketing and scroll-stopping content to expert funnel creation, we take your business from point A to point B with precision. Coaches and consultants worldwide trust the company. We have over 277 plus clients, case studies all around the world, help tons and tons of businesses scale. So your next level is waiting. Let's make your brand unforgettable and visit the website today. I would love to offer you a free strategy session to share with you how we can help scale your business. Thank you.
Welcome back to the Empowered Entrepreneur TV show. This is our first episode, and I'm your host, Rohit Soni. Today, like I said, my guest is Ken D. Foster, who is a visionary entrepreneur, best-selling author, and renowned business strategist known for his wisdom in helping individuals and organizations unlock their greatest potential. So before the break, Ken, I just dropped a big hint for our audience of the main event of the show right now, which is how can we turn courage in revenue? Because now people at this point have learned what it takes to have courage to take your business life to the next level. But people need to know some practical tools, practical strategies, so how they can turn that courage into actual revenue for their business in 2025. Knowing what the trends, you have the floor. You tell us. What's your take on that?
Thank you for that, Rohit. I would say the first step in that would be letting go some of your surface. I can tell by the results I'm getting, I probably have some limiting beliefs underneath the surface. In other words, you've got things that you're thinking that are not supporting you in creating more revenue, creating more joy, more happiness in your business, in your life. So I encourage you to go to my website. You can see it's streaming. I see Rohit streaming it on the screen. KenDFoster.com. KenDFoster.com. On that website, you'll find a release. It's called the release process, and it's for help you start from your young age all the way up to where you are now to be able to inventory those beliefs that are underneath the surface. Any kind of guilt or shame or remorse, any kind of drama, anything that's happened, you'll be able to rise up in a much greater way. So that's my free gift to you there at KenDFoster.com. Courage, it takes courage to get away from distractions today. Turn off your iPhone, turn off your TV, and tune into your own inner self so that you can start to get the messages, the understanding, the wisdom to go to the next step. Biggest thing you can do is start with make a list of all the projects that you have not completed in your business. Okay, make those. Do the worst first. It takes courage to do that, but check it off and imagine every day, if you wake up in gratitude, if you decide to do the worst first, if you set your vision and intention, you get clear with your purpose, you take a massive action every day. Imagine what your business is going to be like over the next coming year. It's going to be amazing. But of course, there's one last ingredient that you really need to have, and that is a mentor or a strategist that can help you. If you go to my site, I've done a special for Rohit today. If you go to my site, you can get a session with me. If you would like, go to KenDFoster.com, and there, for a limited time, you can get a session with me to help take your business to the next level. I hope that helps support your audience, Rohit.
100%. And like, who could actually endorse you better than me, by the way, knowing that I have learned a lot from you. I know I've been working with you, but when you work with someone, you learn a lot from them. So I would highly suggest our audience, whoever who is taking a look at this show right now, I know this is the first episode. That's why I brought the best guest right away. Just check it out. Check out the website, KenDFoster.com. Have a call with Ken, and then I'll be, happy to take your reviews, okay? Because good things are going to happen with you, okay? In terms of your business, your life, your revenue, your courage, knowing that this show is for courageous people and action takers, right? So last question. I know you don't want to say that it's the last question, but it's actually the last question, knowing that we're running out of time. The final thing I'd like to talk to you about is, if you could leave entrepreneurs with one key lesson of courage and success, what would that be, Ken?
Well, I know for me, Rohit, when I really woke up to success in 1992, I heard this little voice, and that voice said, you got to feel the pain to make the change. Think about that. You got to feel the pain to make the change. If you go to the gym and you work out, you'll feel the pain of building the muscle. If you decide to do what I did at one point of learning how to ride a new bike or be able to swim 2 miles or be able to run 26.2 miles, you got to move into that, right? And the mind says, no, don't do that. Stop. It's going to be too painful. But when somebody has courage, and like I told you in the very beginning, courage is a feeling, it's a power, it's an energy we all have. And when you can step into that energy, you have within you, I want you to hear this, you have within you more energy than you need to run this body for 1,000 years. It's in you already. A lot of people disempower that and disengage that energy by saying, I don't have what it takes. I'm too tired. It's not the right timing. I'll never succeed. Anything that negates all that takes your energy down and drains you. But if you wake up every day saying, you know what? I'm awake, I'm alert, I'm alive. Ken said I got more power in me than I need to have this body last 1,000 years. I'm letting go of that kind of thinking. I'm not going to be mediocre anymore. I'm not going to be the one. The social scientists tell us we have 60 to 80 thoughts a day. About 80% of those are negative in most people. They tell them negative things. Okay, like the examples I just gave you. Listen, you be the opposite of that. You search for excellence within yourself. You master your mind. It's not easy. It takes years. It takes decades in my case. But once you do, success begets you no matter what. It can't help. Because why? Inside of you is the divine. Inside of you is, ye are gods. Inside of you is that energy, that power of the universe. But you have to learn how to tap into it. And when you do, life gets better and better.
I love that.
With that.
I love that, Ken. I love that. It's all in you at the end of the day. I guess that's the message I want our audience to take away. It's the courage to take your business and life to the next level. It all starts with you. It all starts the moment you realize that there is something within you that's, I'm not sure what that could be. You need to find that is holding you back, but you have the courage to do everything possible that everyone else can do, you can do. That's the mantra that I use. If Candy Foster can do something, there's absolutely no chance I won't be able to do. And if I can do something, I would like to inspire other people to do the same, that you can do it as well for yourself. No holding back. Nothing should hold you back in terms of anything, right? So thanks a lot, Ken, for joining us today on this episode. What an incredible first episode of the Empower Entrepreneur TV show. Ken just reminded us that courage isn't just about taking risks. It's about taking the next step. It's about taking that risk to take your business life to the next level. So if you are someone who is ready to finally move the needle in your business, who's ready to actually take that big action that's holding you back for all these years, I highly recommend you to watch this episode again and again. Take notes. Don't leave it as it is. Take notes, because if you don't take notes, what happens is you forget. And we don't want anyone in our people who are watching this podcast, all our viewers, I request you to maintain that consistency in learning. And I always say Kaizen every single day. And each episode that we're going to bring you is going to help you Kaizen. That is continuous improvement each day. So if you loved the very first episode, I would love for you to support me on this. Like, subscribe, and share this. Anyone who might be helped through it, I believe a lot of people will be helped with the exact strategies that Ken shared today. So I'll see you next week. This is your host, Rohit Soni, every week, Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. See you soon.
Success isn't for the chosen few. It's for those who choose to show up, take action, and never back down. This is the Empower Entrepreneur, hosted by Rohit Soni, airing across 185 countries, 26 plus TV networks, and 100 plus podcast stations. You've heard the strategies, you've seen the mindset. Now it's time to execute.
I'll see you next week, every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific and 8 p.m. Eastern. Go, build, dominate. Until next time, stay empowered.